Monday, and I am finally doing a layout for Baby Got Scraps, and I'm also bringing to my channel a Build-A-Page with dice. So I have been in a rut lately and not being able to scrapbook. This was supposed to be my layout for day one. I have these two awesome train pictures for the train that was selected to do the run for New Year's Eve, and then I pulled out these scraps. Some of them are from Cocoa Vanilla, and it's two different ones from Cocoa Vanilla. I have this scrap of white cardstock just to map my photos, and then I also have this random piece of scrap that I think, if I remember correctly, is from either P13 or Minte. I want to go with P13 with how muted it is, but I know from the backside that my two Cocoa Vanilla pages are from two different collections. One is from The Great Outdoors, and I think the other one was from either Legendary or the Boys Rule collection. I can't really remember, but I thought that they were perfect for this bright colored photo that was taken of the train going at night and with the fireworks. It's actually taken by a local photographer that lives in Ely, Nevada, and he shares them on the Northern Nevada Museum website or Facebook group, so that way you can go and grab your photos if you're out on the train and don't get really good photos. So it's very nice of him. Anyways, for my dice Build-A-Page, I roll the dice 5 times, and then I have a list from 2 to 12, because if you add the numbers, you'll never actually get number 1, unless you choose to separate the numbers and get 2 different ones. That is entirely up to you. I'm also going to use this blank notebook to write down all of my numbers, so that way I have these recipes possibly for later when I decide that I'm not in the mood to roll the dice, but I have dice already chosen and I can select one of those. So for this particular example, it was a bad one, but I rolled the number 9 twice. I actually end up rolling it 3 times, and I decide, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to re-roll, because there's no way that I can have 3 of the same one, because my 9, 10, and 11 options are the number of photos. And so it's a made-up game to get me more creative, and I'm not going to stress out because I roll the number 9 3 times and I can only use 1 or 2 photos 3 times. So yes, I do kind of cheat just a little bit. Like there, I rolled, re-rolled for number 9, and I got another number 6, which is 2 different stickers, which is fine for me. I actually have quite a few. So for my example, I'm going to write down all of the things that the numbers represent. So 9 represents 1 to 2 photos. 7 represents die cuts or cut files. Die cuts meaning the little die cuts that the companies come out with cute little pictures and things like that. 6 is stickers. 5 is chipboard, and then of course I rolled a number 6, so I wrote stickers down again. And then I also have our double dice game that Janet and I came up with a couple years back, and we've gotten away from doing Facebook Lives just because our schedules don't allow it. So on my left, I have the original double dice that Janet and I did, and then on my right, I decided to split it up. So the upper part of my dice game, which is 1 dice, is represented, so it's 1 through 6. I have embellishments that I just really need to use up. And then down below, for my 1 through 6, I have my tools that I need to start using. I have several stamps, several stencils, punches, die cut, metal metal dies, I guess I should say, things like that I just ignore because it's so much easier for me to grab the manufacturer's packaging, right? So anyways, I decided to roll that, and I rolled a 2 and a 3. So for my 2, it was basically anything round: enamel dots, sequins, brads, flare, anything round of that sort. And then number 3 was metal. I didn't really want to use metal on this layout, so I opted for number 2. If I pick number 2 from my first list, I have to pick number 3 from my second list, which was an embossing folder. And so I picked out this distressed framed embossing folder. Truth be told, I've never used it. Like I said, I have several tools that I just don't use. It's very, very sad. So I decided to take my scraps, and I'm going to measure out the exact size of that specific frame, which I should have known, 5.5 by 4.25 for a card, right? I should have known that, but here I am still measuring out this embossing folder because for some reason the rut that I'm in just can't figure out the simple things. It just can't. So now what I'm measuring is the inside of the distressed frame. So that way I can show off the distressed part and my pictures fit right inside of that distressed part and I can still have the fun of the distressed frame. Not realizing that I probably should have printed my photos a little bit smaller. I actually printed them fit to size, which is it blows it up to fit a 4x6, even though cell phones actually take about a 5.5 by 3.75 photo. And so I opted to blow it up because I wanted these photos as large as possible. And now I trim them all down. Should have just printed them true to size instead of fit to size. All right, so now I've got my embossing done. I have my pictures on my frame. They're not glued in because I'm not sure if I want to keep them white or not. So I also picked out my one allowed 12 by 12 layout, 12 by 12 paper, which I picked this wood grain. Again, it was another Cocoa Vanilla. I believe this one was from Legendary. I got it from Sandy's shop, which is Scrapping Reflections, and she let me buy several pages because that's how I roll with wood grain. And then I decided that it was too much white. So I pulled out this Distress ink in Mode Lawn, and now I am very, very, very heavily inking the edges. So that way I get that really embossed edge. Again, I also had to decide which side of the embossing folder I wanted to use as well. So with me inking the edges, the side chosen on which side to do the the embossing folder was pretty much chosen for me, or I would not have gotten this effect. I really do like how this ended up looking, if I'm being honest. So the photos that I have are of New Year's Day, or actually New Year's Eve, I should say, which was appropriate for me to have the first photo of January, right? But today's the 21st. And no, it did not happen, you guys. I apologize. I have just been in such a rut. I don't even know how to scrapbook anymore. Like, it took me so long to make this video. I got so distracted. I just was all over the place when it came to making this video. And so, yeah, I just didn't know what to do. But I was determined to still do my New Year's Eve photos for January 1, even though today's the 21st. It still has a 1 in it, right? So anyways, in Ely, Nevada, they pick a train every year to do the New Year's run. And so they switch between their steam engines and their diesel engines. And you can buy a ticket to be on the train, or there's several different spots that are on a map that they give you to go and view the train. And that is what the photographer does, is he goes and he picks out his elite spot and takes all these awesome photos for those that ride the train. And then that way they can enjoy it, and they know they can go on the Facebook page and gather up these pictures. So that way you can go home and say, I was on that train that year, you know. So this is actually from 2021, 2022. It was not this year's run. Actually, this year's was a diesel engine, and it's just not as enjoyable. The thing about it, though, is you don't know what train you're going to be riding or viewing, depending on where you are, where you choose to spend your New Year's Eve, out in the desert, waiting for a train to come by, or on the train, enjoying the loud booms from the back end of the train. It is so cool, you guys. So they have 3 passenger cars, so people can actually hang out the windows and see. It's very cold, I'm not gonna lie, dress warm. And then they have a 4th cart added, and it's not quite a caboose, but it represents the caboose, and from there is where they launch the fireworks as the train is roaring by. It is just the coolest sound, the coolest experience. If you guys get a chance, it is New Year's Eve at Ely, Nevada. I'm just saying. All right, so I have, what do I have? I still have die cuts to choose. Now, these little paper pieces are the die cuts that I am talking about with this specific number 7. Because I have tons of them, to be honest. And then, of course, I also have chipboard to pick out. So these little stars are my chipboard pieces. I have 2 chipboard stars. I tried to pull out a chipboard something else too, but it doesn't make the cut, to be honest. And then my stickers will come last because of the stickers that I choose. They're see-through, and I just wanted to make sure that they actually are on a place where they can be seen. I also picked out a couple more die cut pieces to help my title. I wanted a really big title. And so I've got Awesome picked out so far. And then in this Legendary die cut pack, I have Epic Fun. And I'm like, Awesome, Epic Fun. Oh, that's cool. But I already picked out the word fun. I already picked out the word awesome too, which I don't end up using 2 awesomes. But I did end up using the flag fun because I thought that that was more whimsical and helps with my storytelling, if I'm being honest. You know, the fun experience about this. Instead of just the word fun. I did rip my wood grain in half. Well, I ripped it, it's not exactly in half, but I ripped it down 1 page. And to determine how big I want my striped crack to be, I just need to figure out my photo placement and where I want all of these photos. I know I'm going to be using up a ton of this striped paper, you guys. I know it's a waste. I could have cut down my striped paper and had a little bit more to go places and use it on another layout and all that stuff. You guys, I need to use my stuff up. I really do. I'm not going to fret over the fact that I am probably using up 2 inches of this paper that I could have cut off and used somewhere else. I'm okay. I have other striped paper. Maybe not these colors, but I do have other striped paper, I promise. So yes, I am going to be using up all of this, even though I probably could have cut off 2 inches. Oh, bless me. I'm so sorry. So I went ahead and decided that about an inch and a half gap will be perfect and give me still plenty of room to enjoy the large size photos that I have. And then I'm just going to cut off my, it was 1.5 inches. That's how much I would have saved of the white, of this striped paper, ish. No, probably a little bit more. Anyways, I'm over it. But I do cut off my 12-inch piece because of the fact that I still had to have a 12-inch layout. I can't have a 13.5-inch layout. It just won't fit anywhere. It would have looked cool, but it won't fit anywhere. So I do end up with a scrap of wood grain, but you guys know me. I will probably end up using it later, even though I'm in a rut right now. I will, I still treat my supplies as though they are loved every day. So here's my first set of stickers. I'm just going to use these clear little brush strokes that come on these clear sticker sheets from Cocoa Vanilla. I think this one is from Boys Rule, that collection. The clear stickers, I'm not a big fan of. I buy them because they match the collection and they're super cute, but I'm not a big fan of them, and I struggle using them because they're shiny. That is the only reason. Everything else I love about them. I love this brush stroke, and it looks like I painted on my wood grain, things like that. And so I just struggle with them because they're shiny, and that's the only reason. But I'm going to try my hardest to use up these more of these clear stickers. I also have a couple tiny words that I picked from another sticker pack because I have stickers twice, which means that I had to pick 2 different stickers, right? Little cheating, I know, but I still end up accepting that cheat because I did use stickers twice from 2 packages. Yes, I did. And then here's another sticker sheet too. That was actually a 3rd sticker from a 3rd pack. Go me. I did. I picked out 3 different stickers from 3 different packs. So I think that that's allowed. All right. So off camera, I went and I put all of these little tiny foam sticker things on my titles. And then of course, this little Legendary certified ribbon thing. I went and did that too because this layout was being very flat. Other than my distressing and my embossing folder, my layout had no dimension, which I'm okay with, but I love a chunky layout, you guys. I really do. All right, I'm going to take this last little piece of scrap paper and I'm going to run it straight across. Well, pretend that it goes all the way across. And I feel like it's a really good supporting piece for my journal spot as well as my legend ribbon thing. And of course, I do distress the edges on that. And then I need to make sure that it goes straight across so it has that illusion. So I will be pulling out a ruler here in a minute to make sure that I eyeballed it okay or not. I just don't trust myself these days, you guys, because I'm struggling with these layouts. I do have to say that once I got into it and once I figured out how my layout was going to go, I did a bunch of tedious stuff, you guys. I'm just saying, I fussy cut out the word awesome a little bit more because I felt like it had a bunch of white areas where they didn't need to be. I did the same thing with the word epic. I slowly inked my edges on my embossing folder. I mean, I just took my time getting into my rut, right? And getting out of my rut, I should say. I just really did struggle with putting this layout together, with knowing what to do. And it's not because I don't want to make a mistake. That's not it at all. I just don't feel creative. I just don't feel like the inspiration for myself is there. And so I just nice and slow. It took me almost 2 hours to make this layout. And it doesn't even seem like it. I cut a lot of it out. I played on my phone. I stopped and took a phone break and did a mindless game. It's this really cool hexagon stacking game. It's hard. It's not easy. It's hard. And so it makes my brain work. And so it makes me happy to make my brain work. And yeah. All right. So I went ahead and I stuck on these clear stickers that are they're the hand-drawn 5-point stars that match my chipboard stars as well. And so I thought, oh, that's perfect because all these chipboard stars were all the same color. And then adding these stickers in added the illusion that they're all different colors. So I thought, oh, that's perfect. Plus it matches my star paper, even though they're not the same star shape. It's okay. I still got stars, and that's a good representation of my fireworks. So I thought, oh, again, that works. That's awesome. I love my title. It says Awesome Epic Fun, which it really is, you guys. This is just the coolest thing ever. You gotta try it. I'm just saying. And then I have the off the charts that I'm putting at the bottom of my little journaling spot. And then I have no limits up on, and I'm going to put that up on my tab because I didn't know what else to put on my tab other than the date. And, I just don't date my things because this layout is going to go straight into its album. It's page 1 of my album because it is actually December 31st. Don't tell anybody. They run this just once, you guys. That's it. It's a midnight run. It really is. You got to be there at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. 9 a.m. No, 9 p.m. And then of course wait a little bit. And the reason why they ask you to come in at 9 p.m. is because they want you to enjoy watching them set the train up, and they bring the train out of the engine room, and they have all the little passenger cars already set up with the little I don't know what they call that. It's just a little kind of like a tugboat for trains that move cars around that don't need the engine, right? And they've already got the passenger cars set up. They've already got the caboose set up, everything. And then everybody just oohs and ahs when they bring out that engine from the engine house and, watch it puff up, and it comes out of the engine house smoky because they fired it up in there, and it just puffs up, and it's just so cool. The diesels, they don't have that cool entrance. I'm just saying it's lost its robust, but it's still cool to see, right? And they have all the lights left on the engine from it being the Polar Express train. And so it's super cool, you guys. It really is. All right. So that is my layout for today. I've got a couple close-ups for you guys. Also too, I'm going to plug this into a playlist for Baby Got Scraps that is down below. if you guys are interested to see anyone else that is playing along with Baby Got Scraps, since January 1st, there's a lot on the list. And thanks, you guys, for hanging out with me. I really, truly appreciate it. And I'll check y'all later. Bye.